From a very remote location in Sebastopol, a Pinot Noir with Burgundy roots that achieved the #1 spot in the United States. Welcome to Halleck Vineyards. Ross and Jennifer, thank you so much for having us out. And when I say out, I mean, we're actually kind of off the beaten track over here. So where exactly is this slice of paradise?
Well, it is in West Sebastopol. It is kind of northwest Sonoma County. Behind us is the Pacific Ocean, and to the left of us is Napa Valley.
And you purchased the property 30 some odd years ago. It had no vineyard on it, and you decided unconventionally, because there weren't many vineyards around here, I'm planting a vineyard. Where did that inspiration come from?
It came from him. He was collecting wines and he wanted to have his own vineyard.
Okay.
And then Jennifer did the hard work and went to the Yellow Pages and found a nursery that would sell us rootstock and had some important inspiration for planting in this area.
And for reference, Yellow Pages was a book of resources that had businesses that you could then phone.
It was our Google back then.
That's right, it was our Google. So you purchased rootstock out of the Yellow Pages?
Well, when I first started looking for it, at that time they were planting a lot of Pinot in Central California.
Okay.
So everybody was out. So I went to the A, the next one, and then I got to the third one. It was just a little line. And it was John Caldwell, who had a reputation for being knowing everything about rootstocks and clones. And yeah, we bought straight from him.
But it was Pinot Noir that inspired you. And I'm curious, Ross, I mean, Pinot Noir at that point in time in California wasn't exactly what it is today. So where did that inspiration come from? Why Pinot?
Well, it came from Burgundy.
Okay.
You know, there wasn't. I mean, what they called Burgundy here, which BV had a Burgundy as an example,
right,
was not Pinot Noir, and there wasn't Pinot Noir really happening in California to any great extent. Yeah, this was the very first vineyard in West Sebastopol.
Also, as you go north, the coast goes off to the left. So if you're north, you're much farther, but as you come down, we're really close to the ocean here.
Yep.
So we get fog where no one else gets fog, we get all the fog here.
So one of the things I'm fascinated by is the first vintage of commercial viability, because not everybody strikes it this successfully right out of the gate. What happened?
Well, I will first say that I describe it as the vine intervention.
Okay.
So we won #1 Pinot Noir in the United States, the very first vintage that had our name on it.
Let's drink to that. And how did that come about?
We met a young man whose children were going to school with our children, named Greg Lafollette.
Kindergarten.
Yeah, kindergarten, right. And he had started Flowers with the Flowers family, so he was kind of a rock star in the winemaking world. And we introduced him to our vineyard. He was just about to start his own winery and asked if he could purchase our fruit and make a vineyard designate out of it.
So how far out were your chest, recognizing that we know what we're doing, we've got a little swagger?
Well,
that had to be euphoric.
What was great for me, because at that time I was selling wine out on the street and I was working for a broker and things, and so I could go into San Francisco where it was held and say, oh, I'm from Halleck Vineyard. Oh, it was like the red carpet just opened up for us.
Interesting.
And back then there just weren't very many Pinots either, so everyone was so excited, like, oh, you've got Pinot from Sonoma County.
That is outstanding. And then the vineyard behind us, how many cases, how small, how old are the vines? Do you still walk them every day?
Do you?
I walk them often, but not every day. I used to walk them twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoons. And on random days, they would be 3 inches. They would grow 3 inches between the morning and afternoon. If you think you know what's going on when you witness that, you're kidding yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that kind of one of the largest lessons to learn, that maturation process for you as a farmer, grape grower, that as much as you think you have a handle on it, you really don't, and then letting go of that and being comfortable with what does happen and what you can control?
I think that is the most important lesson in farming. And having lost last year's crop entirely to smoke, it's clear that we have very little control.
That's an important lesson for just about everything, quite honestly. What has been the hardest, most frustrating thing that people would not even begin to comprehend about farming, producing wine, the whole journey?
The fact that when you're selling wine, we make small lots. And as you're selling it, you know, you've got 40 left, you've got 30 left, you got 20. And all of a sudden, every time you've oversold it by 5 cases. It's like, no!
And so when you say small lots, what are the lots of the 4, 5, 6, 7 Pinots?
For the single vineyards, we make under 100 cases of each. And then for our 2 cuvées, which is several vineyards put together, 100% Pinot Noir, more like 400, 500 of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for those of us that are fans of Pinot, we're certainly glad your children went to kindergarten with Ken. Cheers to that.
Yay.
Fantastic time today with Ross and Jennifer. Tiny, tiny production, high elevation, coastal influence. Do yourselves a favor. Get some of the Halleck Vineyards. Thank you so much for your support.